What's going on, everybody? It's James, and we are here in the Edge Finder in our watch list because we are going to be taking a look at our top buy and top sell of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and remove indices and commodities, as well as our neutrals, and we're going to be left with our list of currency pairs that currently have a buy or sell signal. So we have two tied for our top sells, Aussie NZD and GBP NZD. Both with strong sell scores of -9, and we have a whole lot of pairs to choose from right here. Mostly New Zealand dollar pairs, one not New Zealand dollar pair, USD CAD, all have scores of +5. CHF JPY just barely behind it though with a score of +4. So I guess what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at USD CAD as well as, let's say...
Hey traders, would you like some help with technical analysis? Well, lucky for you, we're giving away a free technical analysis guide. That's right, completely free. It's an entire guide all around technical analysis. The guide includes subjects like support and resistance trading, MACD indicators, trend lines, candlestick pattern trading, RSI indicators, and much more. So make sure to click the link in the description, fill out that information, and we'll email you a technical analysis guide right away.
Aussie NZD. No, you know what? GBP NZD. I changed my mind. So USD CAD, GBP NZD, we're going to be taking a look at two different currency crosses, one with a strong sell score of -9, the other with a pretty solid buy score of a +5, and we're going to get the numbers for 4 different currencies. So it's going to be great. Let's go ahead and take a look here at USD CAD. Like I mentioned, score of +5 by bias. We have our COT data and our retail sentiment both coming out to scores of +1. And our sentiment section right down here shows US dollar currently sitting at 75.06% long, 24.94% short, and the Canadian dollar at 40.67% long and 59.33% short. Retail sentiment, so retail traders are currently 73% short, 27% long on the pair as a whole. So institutional traders pretty heavily favored long on the US dollar. Maybe just a slightly favored towards the short side on the Canadian dollar, and retail traders pretty heavily favored short on the pair as a whole. Our seasonality is a score of +1, and we can see here that historically speaking, in our last 5-year average and last 10-year average, I can see that our last 5-year average is pretty much right on the line, but our last 10-year average is sitting above the line. However, that's not lining up with our current year average, so historically speaking, this pair does tend to trend just slightly better in the month of December. But so far that has not been the case. However, there's still time to turn that around, and it is reading as a buy bias. So that could, again, like I said, potentially turn around by the end of the month. Our trend reading is a score of +2. And we've seen here pretty much ever since November 24th and November 25th, some decent upward momentum. Had a high right here, shot back down, and we are beginning to come up and test this high again. Had a little bit of a downward move, but so far our price forecast is predicting that we will continue that upward trend and break through these highs right here. Our GDP growth, inflation, unemployment, and interest rates come out to scores of +1, -1, +1, and -1. We can take a look at those fundamentals right here. So US GDP growth 2.9% compared to Canada's 0.7%. US unemployment 3.7% compared to Canada's 5.1%. US inflation 7.7% compared to Canada's 6.9%, and US interest rates are currently 4% compared to Canada's 4.25%. So that was a look at USD CAD, again giving a overall buy bias of a +5. Again, when retail traders are heavily short on a pair, we are looking to buy. Our COT data is matching up with that. Seasonality is just barely historically speaking, this pair does tend to trend a little bit higher than it normally does. Our trend reading is saying that it is currently in an upward move, along with our price forecast believes that is the case as well, but fundamentally looking pretty split, not really leaning one way or the other. Our other pair we said that we were going to take a look at was GBP NZD, and that has a strong sell score of -9. Lots of red metrics right here. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Like I said, strong sell score -9. COT and retail sentiment, both scores of -1. Our sentiment section down here shows the New Zealand dollar sitting at 44.09% long, 55.91% short. So this is pretty much 50-50. We don't really consider something to be a leaning towards a buy or a sell bias until it crosses a 60% threshold. So because this is sitting at 55%, 44%, it's almost 50-50. I mean, it's a very, very, very slight favoritism towards the short side, but not enough for us to really score it one way or the other. The pound, on the other hand, 29.35% long, 70.65% short. That is looking like a favorite on the short side for the pound, institutional wise. Our retail sentiment, 66% long, 34% short. So again, just crossing that 60% threshold, giving us a overall long bias here, giving us that -1 score here. Seasonality is a score of -1, and we can see that, again, historically speaking, in the last 10-year and last 5-year averages, that this pair tends to not do as well in the month of December, and that is actually the case with our current year average as well. That was the case last month as well. We can see our 10-year average and last 5-year average, last 5 years sitting right on the line, but 10-year dropping a little bit below that, and that was the case with the current year average as well. So historically speaking, it looks like in November and December, this pair tends to not do as well. Our trend reading is a score of -2, and that's pretty clear to see right here. If we go all the way back to November 22nd, we can see we had a little bit of a downward move, shot back up, and then absolutely broke back down. Has tested some new lower highs right here, but our price forecast is projecting nothing but downward momentum, and it looks like that could definitely be the case. Lastly, our fundamental section, GDP growth, inflation, unemployment, and interest rates all have scores of -1. We can take a look at those numbers right here. Pound GDP growth, -0.2% compared to New Zealand's 1.7%. UK unemployment 3.6% compared to New Zealand's 3.3%. Pound inflation 11.1% compared to New Zealand's 7.2%. And lastly, interest rates, we have pound 3% compared to New Zealand's 4.25%. So everything pointing very bearish for this pair, GBP NZD, tied for our strongest sell score of -9. I'll go into the watch list one last time. And in fact, I'll even bring in the indices and commodities. I'm going to keep the neutrals out, see if we have, that adds US 30, German 30, JP225, and oil to the list, all showing, or not all showing, but US 30 and German 30 showing some buy scores, JP225 and oil showing some sell scores. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.
Make sure you guys check out the links in the description if you need broker recommendations, access to our free Discord, or want to chat with us on Telegram. If you're interested in our trading software, the Edge Finder, you can find that in the description as well. Thanks for watching.